Well, good morning, interwebs. Today is day one after the first session of chemo with two chemo drugs. They go by the names Taxol and Carbo. They give them to me in that order. Taxol takes about an hour, Carbo takes about 30 minutes. Yesterday, I was hooked up with a standard IV in my arm. I'm scheduled to get a port installed on Friday, so it makes everyone's lives easier in future sessions. I am going once a week for 3 weeks, then we'll take a week off. We'll go once again for 3 more weeks, and then we've got some scans. That's how it looks, right? So yesterday morning, as you saw, we got there bright and early. If you've looked at some of our other videos, Misty was able to take one that showed me sacked out. What they did was they started off. All right, let me back up. When I did the 2 rounds of 5-FU and mitomycin along with my radiation back in October and November, each session I had a PICC line installed and had a bag of 5-FU that I had to carry around with me for 5 days. This time it's a much different process and expectation, but I was really bad that first 5-day session. So bad that I was sleeping roughly 16 hours a day, no more than 2 hours at a time. It was kind of a mess. I didn't eat much. I lost quite a bit of weight because of that week. It was really, really, really hard on me. The second session, they gave me some steroids, something called Amend. They jacked up my nausea medicine, and I was much better. The second round did not really hit me during the week of, and I just had a couple of days of side effects afterwards. Fast forward to now. Now we're going in once a week, getting hooked up to the drips where I'm getting all that medicine. So the way they started out is once they get me in there, they hit me with some Benadryl. Then they hit me with some steroids. Then they hit me with this Amend. And I believe there was some Zofran in there as well for nausea. I have never been one, let me tell you about this experience. I've never been one to taste intravenous medicine. It's never happened to me. It happens to my wife all the time. It happens to other people I know. They get an IV medicine and they can taste it in their mouth. Sometimes it tastes like different things is what I understand. For me, I've never experienced that in my life. I have also never gotten lightheaded from getting an intravenous medicine. Yesterday with the Benadryl, our oncology nurse, Misty told me this. I wasn't paying any attention, but she was watching me very closely as she was pushing it because apparently she knew what to expect. And it hit me about 30-45 seconds after she started pushing it. I could taste the metallic. It was all metallic in my mouth, and it was wild. And it's the first time I've ever tasted medicine in my life. I didn't taste any of the other medicines that they pushed, but I did taste the Benadryl. And then I got a sophomore year in college, I drank too much level spinning the room dizziness sensation. Oh, it was the worst. So I spent the next 5 to 10 minutes just doing this, eyes closed, wishing the world would stop spinning as fast as it was. And the nurse was just sitting there just watching and smiling. Because even though I've said I've never gotten hit with anything, usually when I take Benadryl it doesn't knock me out, this wrecked me. Which was probably a good thing because I ended up sleeping through about half of the next 2 hours of IVs, right? And anyways, all the reading that we've done, all the education we've gotten so far says that, there's a lot of different side effects you can get. And they're being extra cautious with me because of how bad my first round of chemo was. So I have 3 more days of steroids to take at home after the steroids that I took intravenously yesterday, and that has really helped. Yesterday when we got home, and we live in what most people will call South Phoenix, but it's in a suburb called Ahwatukee. We're about as far south in the valley as you can get, and the Mayo Clinic is about as far north in the valley as you can get. It's up where Scottsdale and North Phoenix meet up at the Northern 101. So if you're familiar with the valley, we're at the southern part of the 202, Clinic's 101. When we get to use the carpool lane and traffic's not bad, it takes us about 45 minutes to get there and back. Anyways, I drove us up, Misty drove us home. When we got home, it was maybe round trip, it was about, let's see, It was about a 6-hour process. Came home. I got about a 45-minute to an hour nap in. I was not that bad, honestly. I was tired. I was lethargic. And for whatever reason, I don't know if they also gave me a tapeworm. That's a joke. But I was hungry yesterday. Not as bad today. I actually feel fairly good. I've got a little bit of a headache. I didn't sleep too well. I think that was because of the steroids and whatnot. But I'm doing okay. A lot of the reading that we were doing says that the day after, a couple of days after, is when you really start getting the symptoms. I might have some stuff going on in my mouth right now. I can't really tell. Maybe I did lose a lot of my taste during the first 2 rounds of chemo that lasted well into December. A lot of things started tasting metallic no matter what I put in my mouth, and I guess that's something that could happen as a side effect here as well. Let's see, what else? I'm having a little bit of that now, a little bit of sensitivity in my mouth. I couldn't eat anything spicy when I was doing 5-FU and mitomycin. Just as a test, I just went and bit down on a little pepperoni. I wanted to see how I'm going to go with that. And my mouth is not on fire right now, but I can tell it definitely was spicier than it should have been. So, I'll let you know how that goes. We're also reading that for some people, very few people, they start seeing clumps of hair come out next day. I have not noticed any of that yet. The only other symptom that I've had, and this is the weird one, is, I say it's the weird one, but we bought some cold gloves and booties, I guess you would call them, socks, that I'm supposed to wear while they're pushing at least the Taxol, but probably both of the medications, because it's supposed to help fight against neuropathy. Well, the symptom that I had yesterday, almost all day long, is that I was hyper aware of the pores on my body. Like I could feel them just existing, living, I guess you could say. Like I could just feel like every millimeter, every single bit of skin on my body I could feel. And if I stepped down on something, it was more sensitive. If I picked something up, it was more sensitive. That was really weird. I don't have that as much today. My feet have that restless leg feeling. They're just, I can't find a way to make my feet comfortable right now. I don't know if that's within the realm of normal. It's just something we'll pay attention to and read up a little bit more about how to avoid neuropathy during the process, because I guess it is a very, 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 very common symptom. Like neuropathy and hair loss are the 2 big things that happen to people with these combinations of drugs. And my understanding is at least the Taxol is given to breast cancer patients as well. And so that's why breast cancer patients will frequently lose hair. That does generally grow back and everything. But, for today, there's no real visible thing that you all get to see. Just sharing a little bit of how it went and, what we're going to expect. And we'll keep giving as close to daily morning updates as possible with some other stuff scattered in. I know I'm running up against the limit, probably being a little wordy, but again, we're just trying to share this experience with everyone, right? I don't have anything crazy to show, just the experience to talk about today. Anyways, we've loved the engagement so far. A lot of people are showing real interest. If there's anything you ever want us to talk about, throw it in the comments of any of our videos on any of our platforms. We're currently sharing to Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. If I can ever talk myself into it, we may also do Twitter. Twitter's not the same Twitter that it used to be. I'll just put it that way, so we'll see if we do that. But you can find us, Chuck Fights Cancer, on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. And again, we love the engagement. Share the videos. Share the content. Ask the questions. Every evening, we try to make it a point to run through and see what comments we've gotten to that point. We'll start answering some of those questions in some of our upcoming videos. And so we just appreciate the engagement and hope you all have a great day.